अस्सलामुअलैकुम जनाब, मैं हूँ रोहेल इंतखाब और उम्मीद करते हैं आप लोग ठीक होंगे, खैरियत से होंगे। आज का जो हमारा प्रोग्राम है ये बहुत एक्सक्लूसिव है, बहुत स्पेशल है। मोहसिन-ए-पाकिस्तान। जब हम मोहसिन-ए-पाकिस्तान की बात करते हैं तो हम डॉक्टर अब्दुल कदीर की बात करते हैं। डॉक्टर अब्दुल कदीर की जब बात करते हैं तो आज जो हम सिक्योर हैं, जो हम दिफा की बातें करते हैं, जो पाकिस्तान आज जिन हालात में भी जो इस्टेब्लिश हुआ है वो सबको पता है वो क्यों है, कैसे है और क्या कुछ डॉक्टर अब्दुल कदीर ख़ान ने इस जिद्दोजहद में, इसको हासिल करने में, इसके हुसूल के लिए किया। हाँ, आज ये बात बड़े मैं दावे से कहता हूँ कि अब्दुल कदीर ख़ान साहब का नाम हमेशा याद रखा जाएगा और ज़िंदा रहेगा। उन्हीं की साहबजादी डॉक्टर दीना ने आज हमें ज्वाइन किया, उनको वेलकम करेंगे। और मुझे आज उनसे जो आज हमने ट्रिब्यूट पेश किया एक प्रोग्राम में, उसके बाद सुन के महसूस हुआ कि अब्दुल कदीर ख़ान आज हम में मौजूद हैं। डॉक्टर दीना उसकी बात करेंगी। मैम अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
कैसी हैं आप?
फाइन, थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी हियर।
ऑलराइट मैम, डॉक्टर कदीर के बारे में दुनिया जानती है, हम पाकिस्तानी जानते हैं, हम यूथ जानते हैं। हम ये जानना चाहते हैं कि आपके साथ उनका बाप बेटी का जो रिलेशनशिप था वो कैसा था। हमने तो उनको देखा बहुत डिसिप्लिन, बहुत पंक्चुअल, इंटरव्यूज़ में, अखबारों में उनकी बातें। आपके साथ वो कैसे थे, किस तरह के वो फादर थे?
He was a very loving father, and especially my relationship with my father was very close. And क्योंकि there's only 18 months difference between me and my sister. My sister is younger. So when my sister was born, my father basically took over care of me. So I spent a lot of time with my father when I was little. And I have always been also quite similar to him in character and temperament. And so we used to sometimes disagree on things, but we got along very well. So I think, I'm trying to think of what I can tell you to give you examples. He was just such a disciplined, yes, and disciplined at home. He was very strict with us about doing homework, about getting good grades, about things like that. But he was also wonderful in the sense that he encouraged us. He encouraged us to be interested in the world. He encouraged us to have a love of learning, to read. We read all, my mother also. My mother always, our favorite thing was to buy books. We used to read every day. Of course, we were very lucky. My father, because of his job, there was a lot of travel. In the beginning especially, there were many travels to China. We were very lucky. We got to travel with him as a family. So I got to see incredible things. I got to meet a lot of amazing people, and I learned a lot from him.
कोई ऐसा वाक़या देना हमें बताइए कि कभी डांट पड़ी हो, कभी गुस्सा किया हो? अच्छा, किस बात पर? कि कोई ऐसी बचपन की बात?
My father, if he was angry, he would look at you and you would start crying. You would get so off. The stress was like not very often, but if he got upset with you, you knew it. You just didn't. I mean, he just had to. He didn't even have to say anything. He just looked at you a specific way, and you knew you were in trouble.
अच्छा, कुछ बुक्स में लिखा कि उन्होंने हमेशा अपनी वाइफ को भी बड़ा मान दिया, इज्जत दी, रिस्पेक्ट दिया। मुझे आप ये बताएं कि आप ज़्यादा किससे क्लोज थी, फादर और मदर?
Actually, both. Both. I'm close to both my parents. MashaAllah, I have a really wonderful mother. I know everyone has said, my father has said many times that he couldn't have, done what he did without my mother, and I would agree 100%. I think there's no one like my mother. My mother supported my father through everything, and my mother has always supported me and my sister. Whatever we wanted to do in our life, she's always been the stable background influence for all of us. So.
Okay. एज अ फादर तो ठीक है, आपकी मेमोरी होगी। मैं अगर पूछूं कि अब जो है आप उनको इन टर्म ऑफ सपोर्ट सिस्टम मिस करती हैं, जो एनकरेजमेंट आपको देते थे, सारी चीज़ें?
Absolutely. I think you don't really recognize how much you rely on someone until they're not there, and especially in this role, because now that my father has passed away and I have stepped in to try and carry on his legacy. It's a big responsibility. There is no way that I can do what my father did, but I try. And as I'm doing that, I realize just how much he accomplished in his life and how many different roles he played. He was a family man, but he, aside from the nuclear program, his work in education, his work, building mosques. I mean, every single time that I have visited someone somewhere, someone has come to me and said, your father helped my daughter, your father helped my brother, your father did this, your father did that. And I'm constantly amazed, and I'm so grateful. Really, I can't say, I'm so grateful that he was my father, and I'm so amazed at what he did.
डॉक्टर दीना मुझे ये बताएं कि कभी घर में घर का अपनी वाइफ के साथ हाथ बटाना, कुकिंग करना, घर के काम करना, कदीर खान साहब की पर्सनालिटी थी ऐसी?
जी. When we lived in Holland, when we were young, my father, and in Belgium also, my father used to help with the household. Or I was telling some friends recently that my mother used to cook food during the week, you know, European food, and on the weekends my father used to cook Pakistani food for us. So my father used to make parathas, my father used to make dal, my father used to make keema. So growing up,
पराठा सही बना लेते थे.
And he loved sweet parathas, which I don't know why. So yeah, we used to have sweet parathas and dal very often. My father loved to cook.
क्या बात है.
And yeah, he was always interested in food. Everyone who knows him knows that he always loved good food and talked about food.
Okay, डॉक्टर डीना, आपने बहुत काम किया अपने फादर के जाने के बाद. जो उनका एक विजनरी माइंड था, इंटेलेक्चुअल माइंड वो रखते थे, किताबों में चीज़ें लिखी, हमने आपको पढ़ा, आपकी जिस तरह से कदीर साहब लेके चल रहे थे सारी चीज़ों को, आप भी लेके चली. मेरा एक सवाल है जो मैंने नोटेड भी किया. व्हाट इनिशिएटिव डू यू थिंक इन द फील्ड ऑफ जेंडर इक्वालिटी, एजुकेशन एंड हेल्थ नीड टू बी एड्रेस्ड इन पाकिस्तान?
Well, that's a very broad question, and there are so many things that need to be addressed. I mean, education, right from the basic level, there are still so many students who are not even getting basic schooling, attending primary school. We need to fix that problem. You cannot have a successful developed country if you do not provide basic education to everyone, and I think that is one of our biggest problems at the moment. In terms of gender study and in terms of gender equality, gender awareness, I think we have improved since, you know, in the past number of years, but there is still a lot of work to be done. From my perspective, I think what I see is there are a few of us who are very lucky, very privileged, myself included, because of my father's name, that I can go out, I can meet people, I can do things, but there are so many women who lack those opportunities, who want to get out there, who have ambition, who have drive, and who don't have the support, and we need to provide that to them.
Very nice. Nowadays, we talk about the women empowerment. In your opinion, what actually is women empowerment?
I would say, for me, women's empowerment means giving women equal chances to men. You are not asking that they do anything extraordinary. It's recognizing them as equal partners in society and having the ability to go after their dreams and reach the success that they want on the same terms as men.
नाइस. डॉक्टर दीना, क्या मैसेज देंगी हमारी यूथ को? बहुत कंफ्यूज है इस वक्त जो पाकिस्तान के हालात हैं. हम कोई अच्छा इकोनॉमी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से साउंड नहीं कर रहे. एज फार एज कंसर्न अदर इश्यूज इन पाकिस्तान जो हम सबको पता है. स्टेबिलिटी नज़र नहीं आ रही. लोग फ्यूचर की बात कर रहे हैं. एज़ पर द रिकॉर्ड ऑफ डिफरेंट एम्बेसीज के लोग यहाँ से अब छोड़ के जा रहे हैं. तो आप क्या मैसेज देंगी? आप क्या समझती हैं कि क्या पॉजिटिव चीज़ है, क्या पोटेंशियल है जो हम यहाँ स्टे कर सकते हैं? यूथ बहुत कंफ्यूज है मैम.
Actually, you know, I said this to my father several times because I used to get very frustrated and very upset also, and my father used to, because my father always said there's no country like Pakistan and Pakistan is home, and I said to my father, what are you talking about? You know, look at all the problems in Pakistan. And later I said to him, look at how they've treated you here in Pakistan. How can you say that this is like, you know, the only country that matters? And my father said, no, but there's so much potential here, and Pakistan, look at all the sacrifices that people have made to be here, and it is our responsibility to take that further. We need to work on the sacrifices that people have already made. We need to take it forward, and I think I would say to the youth that remember that there is potential. We have struggled, we are struggling. As you say, economically the situation is terrible right now, but it is in our hands, because if we don't work to improve it, who's going to do it for us? If the youth doesn't change it, there is nothing else.
Well said. Beautiful. In moments of difficulty these days, what keep you anchored and focused on your goals or objectives?
I remember my father. I remember my father. Sometimes I get angry. And I think, you know, look at what I'm left, look at what I'm doing, and, you know, why aren't you here? I wish you were here. But I remember him, and I think if he was able to achieve what he did, starting from where he started with nothing, then who am I? I just need to work harder and achieve just a little bit of what he's done.
थैंक यू. डॉक्टर डीना, लास्ट आपसे सवाल ये कि क्या मैसेज है दुनिया को, लोगों को? आप क्या सोचती हैं? आप इंटेलेक्चुअल माइंड रखती हैं, अपना एक थॉट रखती हैं, अपना ओपिनियन रखती हैं, क्या मैसेज देंगे? इट कुड बी एनीथिंग.
Oh, that's, I think my personal message would be that we need, globally, we need to stop looking at our differences and look at our commonalities. I went to visit the Faisalabad Chamber of Commerce a few months ago, and one of the questions I was asked was, are you interested in joining politics? Why don't you join politics with your father's name? And I said, absolutely not. I have no interest in politics. And I said, one of the reasons is because politics is a game of division. And I'm not interested in division, and neither was my father. My father was interested in unity. My father wanted everyone in this country to work together for Pakistan's progress.
Beautiful, ma'am.
And that is what we need to focus on.
Beautifully said. मैम, ग्रेनिच यूनिवर्सिटी आप आई, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा. कदीर साहब की मेमोरीज़, आपको देखा कदीर साहब को याद आया. हमारा कदीर साहब से बड़ा पुराना ताल्लुक़ है और हमारी ये 2007 की कॉन्वोकेशन में भी उन्होंने पार्टिसिपेट किया. ग्रेनिच आकर, ग्रेनिच में आप क्या पैगाम देना चाहेंगी? कैसा लगा आपको, आप ग्रेनिच यूनिवर्सिटी आई?
No, my first visit to Greenwich University, and I have to say I am so impressed. I am so impressed at the work that the students have been achieving, and at the university in general, and it's inspiring really. And I am so grateful that I was invited, and I really am looking forward to coming back again and again to seeing the progress of the students and to learn actually from some of the things that you are doing here and take it back to other academic institutions where I've been working.
थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर दीना. होपफुली आपने एंजॉय किया और हमारा ये एपिसोड देखा कि किस तरह से जो है अब्दुल कदीर खान साहब हमने आज भी बसते हैं और उनकी साहबजादी हमारे हमरा थी. अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा. वीडियो आपको पसंद आई तो प्लीज़ इसको शेयर कीजिए. ग्रेनिच यूनिवर्सिटी का ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब पे पेज है, उसको भी सब्सक्राइब करें. पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद.